The Spanish Grand Prix has built up a reputation for being a race that everyone seems to finish. In fact, the last 2 years, all 20 drivers managed to finish the race with not a single yellow flag, and Lucas Archer took part in both races. So it's safe to say that all drivers will be finishing the race this year. Never mind, Stroll's not even going to start the race because his wrist hurts again after qualifying. So the only points Aston Martin are looking to get this weekend will be loyalty points on their surgeon. Apparently, every fifth surgery gets you a free lollipop. So, with 18 drivers now looking forward to the Spanish Grand Prix, and Yuki Tsunoda looking forward to spending the whole day doing pit stop practices, we saw the McLarens locking out the front row, with everyone expecting them to recreate the Hamilton Rosberg crash from 2016. Unfortunately, that would have required Lando to have a good start, so instead of that happening, he got passed by Max into turn 1, and any chance of something interesting happening in the Grand Prix appeared to vanish. Meanwhile, further back, Liam Lawson decided to remind everyone that he's not here to make friends by trying to take out Alonso into turn 1 in his home Grand Prix. Fortunately, Liam chose life and set up for tapping his rear and giving Bo Williams wing damage at forcing the pit, ruining Sainz's home Grand Prix in the process, which nobody seemed to care for some reason. Meanwhile, at the front, Piastri was opening up a gap in front of Max, while Lando kept his distance for the sake of his life. Eventually, Lando remembered he's in a title fight with Piastri and not Max, so began to put the pressure on his old title rival. Are we still claiming that was a title fight in 2024? Anyway, everyone was expecting another chaotic fight between the two, so once Lando got into the DRS of Verstappen, he let him by. Who is this in the Red Bull? Are we sure this is a Franz Hermit? This is not Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen would have tried to put this man into Portugal rather than let him by easy. Now the only hope for this race was Max's free stop strategy actually working. He did manage to undercut the McLarens but did have an extra stop compared to them, so we had to wait till the end of the race to see if Red Bull have pulled off another strategic masterclass or if Max is going to kill another member of the Red Bull team. Meanwhile, further back, Lawson continued to remind everyone that he's not here to make friends by trying to murder half the midfield. Let's have a quick rundown of his non-friend making. Lap 1 tried to murder home hero Alonso but chose life, ended up giving both Williams wing damage, forcing them to pit. Later, Liam decided he hadn't done enough crashing into the Williams, so went after Albon again. Albon chose life and decided to cut the track, leading to get a 10-second time penalty, but Lawson decided that wasn't enough and next lap finished the job and gave Albon more front wing damage, and Williams decided to retire Albon for the sake of his life. After Lawson realized he couldn't go after the Williams anymore because Albon had retired and Sainz had completely vanished for some reason, he turned his attention to Behrman, once again throwing a dive bomb on the Haas of Behrman, with Behrman once again choosing life and cutting the chicane. Looking to the front again, all the leaders had completed their stops, with Max right behind Norris, but Norris likely to pull away in that rocket ship of McLaren. There was one issue though. Liam Lawson decided for once he's going to try and be a good teammate to Verstappen, despite being demoted about 3 months ago, and also decided he wasn't done not making friends with Behrman and tried to murder Behrman again instead of obeying the blue flags from Norris and Verstappen. This led to a whole mess, and somehow nobody made contact, but this brought Max right into Lando's DRS for about 5 seconds. Also, somehow Behrman got 10 seconds for this, and Lawson never got a penalty. So that must mean Liam actually made friends with the stewards or something, because how did he not get a penalty? So it looked like the battle for the lead had ended as the gaps were forming between Piastri and Norris and Verstappen. So that was the end of the race. Oh wait, never mind. Kimi's engine decided to cause some action and we got the first safety car in the Spanish Grand Prix since probably the start of Alonso's career. So with the late safety car, teams had to make an important decision. Do you pit or stay out? Everyone at the front had softs available except Max, who only had hards, which nobody had used at all during the race because they were trash. So the ultimatum for Red Bull was A. Stay out, lead the race, but have bad tires, or B. Pit, be third, but have bad tires. So obviously it's an easy decision for a team known for their good strategy. So Max inherited a what do you mean they pitted him on hards? Jesus Christ, did you hire the Ferrari strategy team hoarder? So the safety car came in with 6 laps to go, and Max almost decides he doesn't even want to race on these hard tyres by almost spinning into the wall. Fortunately, he recovered, and now we had Leclerc and Max going wheel to wheel down the straight, and they almost recreated the incident down the straight, which Max took calmly, clearly. Then George decided he wanted to get involved in the fun, but forgot that he was in a Mercedes with the balance of jelly and almost crashed into Max. Fortunately, Max chose life and cut the corner and kept P4, which everyone collectively agreed was the correct thing to do, and Max was allowed to keep the position, and the race ended like that. Nah, who am I kidding? Red Bull continued to have an absolute disaster class and told Max to give George position because of reasons, which was the last straw, and reawakened Mad Max, who did decide to give George the position after he tried to send George to Portugal in probably the greatest crash out since Hungary last year. Nico Rosberg was acting as if Max pulled out a gun and shot George and demanded Max to be black flagged for deliberately crashing into a driver, which Nico Rosberg knows a lot about. Austria 2016. The stewards decided Max only needed a 10-second time penalty despite Sebastian Vettel getting a stop goal penalty for doing the same thing in Baku in 2017. Ah, good times. Damn, that was 8 years ago, Jesus. So after all that, Piastri won from Norris, and Leclerc somehow managed to get a podium despite not existing the entire race apparently. Russell got fourth, and Max's penalty still saw him score a point in 10th. Liam Lawson's not making friends saw him get nothing. And Alonso finally scored with ninth. Gasly and Hadjar got decent points as well. Hamilton spent the whole post race seeming like he wished he was still a Mercedes after finishing sixth. He still finished at least, unlike his old car, so that's something. And Nico Hulkenberg dragged a green highlighter into fifth. Surely he got driver of the day with that performance, right? What do you mean Max got driver of the day? He almost killed someone. So now Max is on 11 penalty points, which means if Mad Max is still around in Canada, he'll be banned from the Austrian Grand Prix. Don't worry though, I think Franz Hermann may be free that weekend anyway. And let's see how Sky Sports are viewing the return of Mad Max. Oh, they've just issued a petition asking for Max to be publicly executed. Damn, that's a dream for them even.